Greetings, history buffs! Today we're taking a trip back in time to explore the fascinating world of the typewriter. Can you imagine a world without computers, laptops, or even smartphones? Believe it or not, there was a time when the primary way to communicate in writing was with a pen and paper. It was a slower, more deliberate era. Every letter, every word, painstakingly crafted by hand. Imagine the cramps, the ink blots, the sheer time it took to pen a simple letter. Communication was a precious commodity, carefully considered and even more carefully composed. But as the world sped up, so did the need for a faster, more efficient way to communicate. Enter the typewriter, a machine that would revolutionize the way we write and change the world forever. The invention of the typewriter wasn't a solo effort. It was a journey marked by collaboration, competition, and a relentless pursuit of innovation. Behind every key and lever, there were minds at work, each bringing their own ideas, skills, and dreams to the table. It was a symphony of ingenuity, with a cast of characters all playing their part. In crowded workshops and dimly lit studies, inventors exchanged sketches, debated designs, and sometimes even argued over the best way forward. But one name stands out from the crowd: Christopher Latham Sholes, the man often credited with inventing the first commercially successful typewriter. Sholes was more than just an inventor. He was a visionary who saw the potential to change the way the world communicated. Sholes, a Wisconsin printer by trade, wasn't alone in his quest for a better way to write. His background in printing gave him a unique perspective, but he knew he needed help to bring his ideas to life. Countless others were toiling away, experimenting with different contraptions, all eager to liberate the written word from the shackles of penmanship. Some worked in isolation, while others formed unlikely partnerships, united by a common goal. There was Thomas Edison, a prolific inventor who dabbled in typewriter technology. Though better known for his work with electricity and sound, Edison's curiosity led him to explore the possibilities of mechanical writing. And let's not forget the contributions of Sholes Glidden and Samuel W. Soule, Sholes' partners in crime, or rather innovation. Their technical expertise and creative thinking were crucial in overcoming the many obstacles they faced. Together, these pioneers tinkered, tested, and toiled, their workshops buzzing with the sounds of gears grinding and keys clacking. Every failure was a lesson, every prototype a step closer to success. They were driven by a shared vision, to create a machine that would empower people to communicate faster, clearer, and more efficiently than ever before. Their combined efforts would ultimately change the world, one keystroke at a time. But what sparked this insatiable desire for a writing machine? Picture this: the mid-1800s, a time of burgeoning industry and commerce. Businesses were booming, but record-keeping was a laborious, time-consuming affair. Clerks hunched over desks, their pens scratching across ledgers, struggling to keep up with the demands of a rapidly growing economy. The need for speed, clarity, and efficiency was palpable. Handwriting, for all its charm, was simply too slow, too prone to errors, and too dependent on the writer's skill. A better solution was needed, and inventors like Sholes were determined to find it. Early attempts at creating a writing machine were, well, let's just say they were a testament to human ingenuity, even if they weren't always successful. Some resembled pianos, others looked like sewing machines. It was a period of trial and error, of bold ideas and spectacular failures, all paving the way for the breakthrough that was to come. And then, in 1867, it happened. Christopher Latham Sholes, along with his trusty sidekicks Sholes Glidden and Samuel W. Soule, unveiled their masterpiece, the Sholes and Glidden typewriter. This wasn't just another quirky contraption. This was honestly a game-changer. The Sholes and Glidden typewriter, with its ingenious arrangement of keys, was designed for speed and efficiency. Unlike its predecessors, which often had keys arranged alphabetically, the Sholes and Glidden typewriter used what we now know as the QWERTY keyboard layout. Why QWERTY? Well, it wasn't designed for optimal typing, but rather to prevent the keys from jamming, which was a super common problem in early typewriters. This seemingly random arrangement of keys would go on to become the standard for typewriters and eventually, computer keyboards, proving that sometimes, the best solutions are the ones that solve the most pressing problems. Now, these early typewriters weren't without their quirks. In fact, using one was a bit like stepping into a world where patience and guesswork were essential skills. For starters, you couldn't even see what you were typing as you typed it. The words appeared only after you finished a line and lifted the carriage, making every sentence a small leap of faith. The Sholes Glidden typewriter, like many of its early counterparts, was a blind writer, meaning the type bars struck the paper from underneath. This design, while innovative for its time, made the act of typing a mysterious process, as you could only hope your fingers were hitting the right keys. This made correcting mistakes a bit of a guessing game. If you made an error, you had to wait until the line was finished to even spot it, and fixing it often meant starting over or using creative solutions like whiteout or correction tape. And forget about all those fancy fonts and formatting options we take for granted today. There were no italics, bold, or different sizes, just the steady, unchanging imprint of metal type. Early typewriters used a single typeface, usually uppercase only, giving all documents a rather official, if somewhat monotonous look. Every letter, memo, or story looked almost identical, with a uniformity that was both charming and a little dull. But hey, at least they were legible. The crisp, mechanical letters stood out clearly on the page, making reading a breeze compared to messy handwriting. Despite their eccentricities, these early machines were marvels of their time. They represented a leap forward in communication, allowing people to produce documents faster and more efficiently than ever before. They were intricate contraptions of gears, levers, and springs, all working in perfect harmony to transfer ink from ribbon to paper. Each press of a key set off a tiny mechanical ballet beneath your fingertips. To operate one was to experience the joy of mechanics in action, a symphony of clicks, clacks, and dings that was music to the ears of those eager to embrace the future of writing. Even with their limitations, these typewriters sparked creativity and changed the way people put their thoughts to paper forever. The impact of the typewriter on business and daily life was nothing short of revolutionary. It was more than just a machine, it was a symbol of progress, ushering in a new era of efficiency and professionalism. Suddenly, the way people worked, communicated, and even thought about their jobs began to change. Offices, once dominated by the scratching of pens and the rustle of paper, were transformed into bustling hubs of productivity. The air was filled with the steady rhythm of keys striking paper, a sound that came to define the modern workplace. The typewriter's speed and efficiency allowed businesses to communicate faster, keep better records, and ultimately, boost their bottom line. Reports, memos, and contracts could be produced in a fraction of the time, making it possible for companies to grow and adapt like never before. No longer were clerks chained to their desks for hours on end, tediously copying documents by hand. The days of cramped hands and ink smudges were fading into the past, replaced by a new sense of possibility. The typewriter liberated them from the drudgery of penmanship, freeing up time for more important tasks. Workers could now focus on creativity, problem-solving, and collaboration rather than repetitive manual labor. The typewriter, once a novelty, quickly became an indispensable tool of the trade, its rhythmic clacking a ubiquitous soundtrack to the modern workplace. It was the heartbeat of progress, echoing through offices large and small. It wasn't just businesses that benefited from this newfound efficiency. The typewriter found its way into shops, schools, and even homes, changing the way people approached written communication everywhere. The typewriter also democratized communication, making it easier for people from all walks of life to express themselves in writing. For the first time, clear, legible documents were within reach for everyone, regardless of their handwriting or background. From personal letters to manuscripts to legal documents, the typewriter gave voice to a generation eager to be heard. It empowered individuals to share their stories, ideas, and ambitions with the world, leaving a lasting mark on history.